Hello, everybody. It's Lord Magicus. I am back. We missed a week here, but it's okay. We're back. It's been a little bit rough for me, but we're okay. We're still here. We're doing more magic stuff. So
Woohoo!
Jess is laying down here in the background. So
Yay!
she's way off in the depths of the ocean here. So uh,
I'm a sea slug.
sea slug. Yep, there we go.
I'm a sea slug. I'm a sea cucumber.
Sure. All right, we're gonna play our Simic Fishies. So it's gonna be fun.
Fishes.
It's got Noble Hierarchs and Utopia Sprawls. The idea with this is that we are going to we're gonna try to turn to a Harbinger of the Seas. Just make sure. All right, yeah, we got switches live, right? Yeah, our goal is that we're gonna play these one-drop mana accelerants that turn to. Hopefully, we can slam a bunch of 3-drops. And we have a lot of them. We have Tishana's Tidebinder, which can nail fetch lands. We have our Svyelun, which is a really beefy thing to put into play, a card advantage engine. Harbinger of the Seas, which can hopefully just win the game catching our opponents with their pants down. So, very powerful. The other reason I wanted to try this, in addition to just trying to like turn 2 play Harbinger, is I want to actually play it with Mindspring Merfolk. Because we took out the Ether Vials for Utopia Sprawls because this adds mana, so it helps us like cast this faster. But this mana can also be used to help our exhaust costs with Mindspring Merfolk. So now, between Hierarch and Sprawl, we have mana accelerant so that we can draw more cards and keep the gas flowing. So we can keep driving our our Ether Drift card to victory here. So yeah, everything's pretty standard here. Um, we had to cut like a Lord here, and I also chose to cut a Tide Shaper since we have so many 1-drops here now. Um, I am playing with the basic forest here. I have 6 fetch lands to find it, because ideally Utopia Sprawl should go onto the basic forest so that Harbinger doesn't kill it. And then we can keep the mana later for Mindspring. Otherwise, and I do have Hedge Maze, which in some circumstance we can fetch for it and surveil. Because everybody wanted to see me do it last time, so we changed the mana base up to support Utopia Sprawl a little bit better. So we have 6 fetches and 4 breeding pools in the basic forest. That's 11 sources of green mana to play these spells. So hopefully that'll be enough. The Hedge Maze, we cannot cast stuff onto it in the first turn, but it can be used in the second turn, so it's kind of like a 1-drop on its own. Sideboard just has some standard stuff. I have 3 flares in the main deck. We can throw away Mindspring once we use its ability. And we have the forces in the sideboard, Dismembers, Consign, Hexcatcher. Also Torpor Orb, because Black-White is very popular right now, and Torpor Orb is like one of the only cards we have that actually meaningfully interacts with that deck, so we're going to try that and see if it does anything useful for us. Alright, that's it. We're going to go and play. So, let's see if this actually does anything useful.
Good luck.
That's right, we need all the luck we can get. Hopefully we'll have some fishy friends join us in the chat while we do this. We're on the draw. We can Tide Shaper in turn 2. I'm gonna keep it. I don't know how useful it's gonna be to do that, but we'll use the Windswept Heath since it can only find the basic forest and not the basic island. Alright, let's see. I mean, it could potentially cast this Sink into Stupor if we need it to, so. Looks like we are up against Hardened Scales, which is not terribly good. That said, if we can find... Yeah, if we could find Harbinger of the Seas, we might just win this game right now. Oh my god. I don't know that we're going to defeat this right at the moment. Maybe, actually. That's possible. We could potentially reset this. Alright. Let's get a basic island here, and we'll just pass. I want to see if they try to make Patchwork bigger, then I'll Tidebinder the ability, and then I can potentially sink it.
You got this, Magicus.
I probably don't, actually. Like, they had a really good start, and we don't really have the cards that we need to deal with this at the moment.
Remember, it's all about the heart of the cards.
Probably about a little bit more than that, to be honest. Yeah, I kind of have to stop them from making this construct because I can't meaningfully defeat this construct right now. I think us just not having Harbinger of the Seas really fucked us here. Like, this is a deck where we absolutely needed it. They are an Urza Saga deck and they were on the play. We also drew some lands, which are not very helpful. Yeah, they have a 6/6 construct here, which I can't really do a whole lot about. Alright, they got the Shadow Spear. Honestly, I should just concede at this point. Like, there's no... I don't think there's anything I can draw that's gonna, like, make this better.
You got this, man.
No, I don't. This game was lost. This is super lost. They had an amazing start. Like, they played a creature that gets bigger on their, like, second turn, and then played, like, 3 things that make it bigger. Alright, this is over. This was terrible. That was awful. Alright, we need Dismember badly. What is not good against this deck? It's actually hard to say. Yeah, I guess Consign to Memory is, like, probably good, right? We should take that. Get rid of Flare of Denial. I guess, maybe Svyelun is not the greatest. Or, I don't know, Floodpits maybe. It's difficult to say. Try it like this. I think just being on the play will be a lot better. This is always like a hard deck, so they have a lot of bullshit, and we don't have a lot of good ways to stop it all of the time. So, I don't think I'm keeping this. This is again very mana heavy hand. We have 1 land in this hand. This is actually worse. All right. I guess I have to keep this, and then I guess just getting rid of... I don't believe in me right now. So it's not a very good, like, we did not have a good game 1 here, and honestly our game 2 doesn't look like much better. not very good starting hands, and our opponent had a very, very good starting hand in game one on the play. So. This isn't really threatening to do anything of relevance either. Like, this Dismember is so bad with, like, Breeding Pool, too. But I have to do this, so. Yep, there's a Saga. I mean, I guess if we draw Harbinger of the Seas, like, our life could become better here. But that's pretty much it. Yeah, Portable Hole's gonna eat up Master here. Sure. There's Mox Opal, of course, because this card needs to be fucking banned again. Like, they should have never unbanned Mox Opal. Oh, like, the having this with Saga is just too good. The best thing that we can hope for this turn is to dismember something. But chances are they're probably just going to make a construct, so we're not even going to get to use this dismember well. Yep. I am very surprised that they just did this on their turn. Oh, I guess maybe... No, they don't have the 2 mana to equip this, so I don't understand why they would do this right now. I guess they were gonna throw away a mock to try to equip the Shadow Spear to it. But now they just don't get to do that at all, so they could still play another Portable Hole. Or I don't know. What do we got? Okay, well, that's not gonna do anything because they don't have any creatures at the moment. I think here I'm just gonna draw 2 cards. I'm just gonna pass here, put a counter on this thing, draw 2 cards, and then hope that my next turn is gonna be better. Doesn't look like it, to be honest, but try. And I am surprised they didn't float a mana and try to get another mock so they could equip this thing, but... Oh, they're just gonna give it haste. Okay, well that makes sense. Sure. That's... Okay, I guess not. They're just gonna play Thought Monitor. Alright, nope, they have the land. They can still do this. Well, it doesn't have trample, so I can still block it, but... Those were not really good ones here. This is a little bit too late. Like, I am pretty sure we're dead. This thing, they're just gonna put Shadow Spear on this, and I have no way of actually defeating that. I guess, what, I could Tidebinder the equip on this, right? But this thing is still hitting me for so much damage. Whatever I play is pretty much doomed to die right now. And there's not... Yeah, there's not a whole lot that I could... Like, I can play a Lord, but, like, it doesn't help me a whole lot. Like, I might have to... This thing's gonna hit me for 2, at least, right? So, I have to, like, chump block this thing. Alright. I don't think that that this is enough, but I'm gonna try. What do I need? I need to draw, like... what am I looking for? Maybe, Floodpits Drowner. I don't even know how much that's gonna help because this thing is also now really big and scary. Like, I can't... This is too much. Our hand was way too shitty to beat this. Trying to imagine any reality in which we could potentially come back from this, and I don't know that it exists. They're gonna give it haste. Yeah, I can't deal with both of them. That was like really, really terrible. Yeah, I don't think there's anything we could have done. Like, our hands were just really bad, and theirs were very good. So, all right, well, we get to be on the play this time.
You got this.
Sadly, like, we have 2 mana here, but there's nothing we can really do on turn 1. Might, like, we don't have any green mana for this Sprawl. I think it's worth mulliganing at least once. This is a little bit better, but not a whole lot. Get rid of one of these lords, I guess. We need to try to find... Oops. We have to find another blue land, ideally, so that we can cast Harbinger of the Seas, but this is our only plan. Are we up against the Blink deck? Because if we are, like, this is just a concession. Cast down. Okay, sure. Alright, well, we're pretty much on Harbinger of the Seas or bust, and if they have, like, Solitude, then it doesn't matter. Playing the basic forest kind of tips them off. Like, this is just not doing well today. I have Island here? Oh, God. Okay, so this is like an Esper deck. I would love to pay 2. I think I'm going to try to nail them with Tidebinder. Because I think if I just play Harbinger of the Seas right now, it is not going to accomplish what I want to do. I want them to try to play and crack a fetch land, maybe play like Ketramos. Yep. Uh, Still gonna wait for them to crack this polluted delta. Hope they don't have Fatal Push. Alright, well, no Fatal Push, so that's good. That means Harbinger is more likely to resolve. They are shocking themselves, so what are they going to do this turn? Interesting. Maybe this means they have a counter spell? Consider. Okay. You have to have something. You would not have shocked yourself if you had nothing here. Are they just they're gonna crack the clue token and flip Tamiyo? That might happen. Okay. I guess the only thing we're worried is if like there's Solitude here. Hey, I mean, let's try it, I guess. All right. Well, they don't have any black or white mana now, so that might be good enough. Cycling Unearth. Okay. I think this is the Esper Oculus deck, if I remember. I think that's what's. Pretty sure they have Catchmos in this deck. I don't know what else they all have though. Probably have a counterspell of some sort. Tamiyo's dead. That's good. Play the Tide Shaper. They're gonna counter that. Okay, interesting. They didn't counter the Lord because I guess they were afraid of something. Like, I don't know what, but. Alright, well, they give up. It turns out Harbinger of the Seas was enough here. So I think their deck has like one swamp in it, and I don't think they have any basic planes. They have prismatic endings, and it looks like that's it for what that and like Catchmos. And I think they just get value out of Catchmos and like Oculus together. That's pretty much it. Okay, so um, they have 4 counter spells. We have like 2 caverns, but I don't think we can afford to play around them. I think we just need the Dismembers, right? Those are important here. They do have Psychic Frogs we're going to be aware of. Drowner might matter for that. I don't know if I want Force or not. Force probably doesn't do a whole lot. There's Pest Control. Maybe they have like maybe a few copies of that, so we should be aware of it. because this is specifically the Esper version of this deck, they're probably more weak to Harbinger than usual. Well, I gotta figure out what to cut here, so... Maybe like this. Honestly, not sure. I just know that we want Dismember because I have Oculus and Ketchamos, and we need to kill like both of them. I think I'm keeping this. I want to play Hierarch here. So, I have Sync in this. I think I just get Breeding Pool right now. So we don't have Sprawl, so we're fine without it. I mean, if they kill this, that's fine. We still will have our 3 mana for these later. But if they don't, then maybe we can like turn to something here. So, let's see. I kept a card on top, so something seems good to them. All right. Yeah, you better fetch now. You know that I have fucking Tidebinder, and I will use it. I am not afraid to Tidebind this thing. Getting that basic swamp, because they are very afraid. Psychic Frog, okay. This is probably a good time to play Svyelun. This is like our Psychic Frog. Thing is, if they like, I could potentially try to dismember this thing and then later bounce it if they protect it, so it's definitely an option. Or even just Tidebinder on it. Drawing in... They have double blue up, so let's see, what are they going to do with it? Maybe Prismatic. Yep, okay. So I guess if we draw a land, that's probably the best thing, because then I can dismember this thing, and then if they discard all their cards to it, then I'll just sink it. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I'm going to try to Tidebinder this effect. See how that goes. I might eat a counterspell out of their hand. I needed to draw a land this turn, because, like, that was, like, our best way of getting rid of this, was a combination of these two, but I have to do them both while they're tapped out. Otherwise, like, I can dismember it, they'll just discard a bunch of stuff. Gains flying until end of turn. I would prefer it doesn't. I have to try to create another window for us, like, for them to tap out of their counter magic so I can draw the land here. Which they're not doing, so that's good. Okay, you know what? That's fine. Prismatic does effectively the same thing. Buys us a turn where if we draw the land, then we can guaranteed get rid of this thing. Alright, can we get there? Come on, land. Guess I'm doing this. I guess if they discard their hand now, it doesn't matter because we'll just play another Dismember and they'll lose. They might seriously be thinking about saving this. Pitching to force. Interesting, okay. Well, I guess I'm just gonna just again. They have to throw all 4 cards to this thing. If they do, I don't think giving it flying really mattered. I'm not gonna attack. I'm just gonna play Mindspring. They still have 4 cards. I need to try to play 2 fish next turn, so. Alright, pest control. We knew that they probably had this. It's not great for us, but what are you gonna do? Okay, sure. You just have it all. Why not? You had 2 prismatic endings, the pest control, and the spell snare. Neat. This thing is online too, which is just irritating. It's gonna kill us. Like, I don't have a way to stop. Like, I can't. I'm not gonna be able to cast Dismember in this thing. I think we're just dead. Like, they had too many answers this game. You know what? That's fine. The relic is gonna draw them too many cards. Like, we can't come back. I guess we're just running it like this and hoping for the best. This seems really good. I don't know, maybe. We only have 1 land. That's the only downside here. I want to keep it with 1 land. This is a little better, but not by a whole lot. Alright. So we'll get the basic islands. We'll play the Tide Shaper. This, if we don't have anything to do on turn 2, this might just get the breeding pool tapped. I don't know, like, we still have like 19 lands, so it's not like we were cheating really on these. Alright. I'm not gonna play this Tide Shaper because I don't like. There's no point to doing it as a 1/1. I think I'd rather save this one in case they find their basic swamp. This is definitely a match where having more Cavern of Souls and Ether Vial would actually be a great benefit. Like, we have hands that can just wreck them, but I don't know, we didn't find them, so. Alright, well there's the polluted delta, so... Yeah, they're gonna do this right now, because they know. Yeah, that's what I thought. They don't want to pass to me and then have me do something like that. Okay. And a prismatic ending this thing? Sure. I mean, I expected you were going to do it in the other Tide Shaper, to be honest, so... I guess we can use Hedge Maze here. This is like the one circumstance where this card's actually useful. I already have one of these. That's not really what I want right now. That's tempting. I have to weigh this against the chance. Like, if they play Ketramos, I pretty much have to flare that. What creature would I want to get rid of here? If I want to use the Tidebinder, it's not really going to get it. Yeah, like, I could just play the Synchronous Stupor as a land and then just pass, and then play Tidebinder, or just hardcast Flare. That might be the best bet. Because if I play the Tide Shaper and they play Ketramos, then I'm going to have to throw away the Tide Shaper, and then they're just going to get their swamp back anyway. So, the best thing to do here might just be to see what they do. They're just trying to put cards in exile so that Ketramos comes into play online. Alright, well, if they want to play it, they're going to have to tap out. Or if they try to play a fetch land, then... Okay, well, they're not going to go for it this turn. Not doing anything here. Just play Tidebinder just so I have a creature in play to like have as flare protection. That's pretty good, because that means I can play the Tide Shaper now. Still have up Flare, and play Svyelun. Let's see, does anything bad happen to this? Okay. We're doing this while I can't Tidebind it, so that makes sense. Pay 3, play Svyelun. Svyelun is now protected with Indestructible here, and if they do something else, then I can just throw away Tide Shaper as Flare food. So. Subtlety. I really would like this Svyelun resolve here. They just cycle pest control? Okay. I guess that makes sense. I don't have any 1-drops and they would blow up their own relic here. I'm just looking for like prismatic ending, I guess. Alright, what do you got, opponent? Oh, they have Oculus. They've surveilled an Oculus into play. That sucks. We need like Lord of Atlantis right now. It's not actually that bad. Floodpits this thing, I get to attack. It's a 2/2. Well, I guess we're just gonna die now. Because we're gonna take too much damage from this thing. They're gonna make another manifest token, attack for 5, and like we're fucked. So okay, no, we were destined to lose this one too. Which sucks because I feel like this is another one of those matches where slamming Harbinger early would be great, but we just haven't fucking seen it. So like, it's just not useful right now. There's Ketchermos. Relic is a thing. Yeah, we're dead. Like I can't defeat that. All right, good. Well, this is not making me love this deck. Oh no.
Are you even trying, Magicus?
I really was. Like we started off good in that match, but like our hands just fell apart in games 2 and 3. It was terrible. It make like I kind of feel based on this that like I don't know, like the uncounterability from Ether Vial and Cavern of Souls would have made like a huge difference because they used like Spell Snare and Counter Spell, and they were very brutal against us.
You gotta try harder.
Yeah, I know.
But
There's only so much you can do. Like, you know, we had cards that were good against them. We just could not find them. So.
You know what, Magicus? You just gotta put the fries in the bag.
Yeah, I mean, the first match I'm not really going to consider because I don't think that there is like almost anything we could do about it. It's like we either have Harbinger right away in that matchup or we're just dead to it. And it's kind of like how Affinity used to be. It's like that deck will basically just win the game like unless you send them back to the Stone Age with like a single powerful card, which used to be like Urkel's Recall. Now it's like Harbinger of the Seas, but if you give them like a turn or two to just pop off, and you're never coming back from it. So we that it's an incredibly difficult match, and I would not plan to face Hardened Scale because that is almost 0% of the metagame right now, so it's not really worth considering. All right, well we get to be on the play. Again, we don't have a thing to do on turn 1, which is it's terrible. This is perfect. This is exactly what we want to see. We'll definitely keep this. I guess we just put a breeding pool in the bottom because we're just gonna get basic forest. We're gonna get basic forest, Utopia Sprawl, blue, and then hopefully turn 2 just slam Harbinger and win. This is what we're hoping for. So Archive Trap. Okay, we're up against Mill. All right. Usually they splash either blue or black. Oh god. Okay, well that's not really helpful. What are you gonna do here? Extirpate. Master the Pearl Trident. Okay, that wasn't really the one, but we have no masters in our hand, and it's not really gonna help you here. We did have a Harbinger of the Seas in the graveyard they could have picked here, but they did not, so. Oops. You have to tap this for blue. Alright. I mean, this might slow them down. So they play crabs, so if they do that, like, it turns off fetch lands for them, so yeah. They're not going to be able to, like... No more black mana, please. Yeah, attack since they're not going to block with it. Alright. Now, the only thing that sucks is they can't... Most of their spells are blue. So, we have to, like, win this game very quickly. We don't have any masters here. That's not a bad one to have right now. I probably should have tapped the Force. If I draw a Lord, I could have cast it this turn. Or, I'm sorry, no, I'm not attacking this Svyelun now, so yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Alright, well, I could just die here. Okay. It's not good, but... I mill 15 cards? Alright, you got me. Sure, like, we lost game 1 to a mill deck. Alright, that should probably be a sign that, like, we're not doing this, so, like, this is terrible. Okay. I don't think we need Svyelun for this matchup. Like, Harbinger can be okay. I don't think Drowner is going to be very good. I think we actually want these. I think we want the Dismembers just for the crabs. Sure. Does this even do anything? Like, I don't know that it does. Like, it's so awkward. This isn't really much better. I don't think I can keep this either. We're definitely keeping this. Get rid of Sync and probably get rid of Tidebinder. Get rid of Sync and then maybe Master. Sadly, I think this was the best hand so far. I don't know, that first one was just so weird because the basic forest just was like so bad there. You know, play a crab, I take it? Yeah, okay. That's a good thing we can Tidebinder here. Unless we draw Harbinger, which I would definitely... Yeah. I would love to play this because it turns off their fetch lands. It also turns off all their removal. They might get to mill me 3 cards here. Okay, well... I mean, I guess, but... One of them will get turned off next turn. Okay, well, this is a fucking problem. Alright. The cool thing is Hierarch does make this big enough to get through the Ruin Crab, so they won't block with any of them. I mean, I guess I may as well deal with the Ruin Crab. Yep. Land would be good. Dismember's not terrible, actually. I think. If I play Master here, I can attack with both of these. Let's see. Just trying to think what's lethal. Probably should play the Hexcatcher. It's not like they're gonna block with these things anyway. Like, the Ruin Crab might block, but that's because I already have it turned off, so... I mean, I dismember one of these things. Like, we're definitely doing this anyway, so... Do I attack for 7? Like, this is gonna block here for sure. I think I'm supposed to just play the Hexcatcher. Alright, well, I think we just cheated 1 extra damage into play. Or, yeah, through, because they should have blocked the... They thought they were going to get away with blocking this thing for free, but no. Alright. Yeah, okay. That's not great, but we might be racing this still. You may as well. Our goal is to just keep Master plus a creature in play here. Okay, they didn't have it this time. That was surprisingly close. Alright. Gonna be on the draw here, so might be a little bit rougher, but we'll see. The Tidebinder might be a little bit better than Harbinger of the Seas, because this thing, the Tidebinder does deal with Jace, and it also deals with their crabs. I am gonna try to show them who's boss, but like, I don't know. This deck has been temperamental, so we'll see. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to just try to turn to Harbinger of the Seas here, so this might also be a scenario where I don't get the basic forest just in case. I, if something happens to Utopia Sprawl. Oh, that's not. That seems fine. We have forest, which is nice. We definitely play this. So I gotta think here. How worried am I? I guess. What could they have that would disrupt my sprawl? It's probably fine to get the forest and then just slam the island next turn. Because they can't like go after my basic forest with their fields or anything. This is their like, yeah. I don't know. Their mana is really weird here. Okay, is that it? You just have like, okay, you have a fetch land. So what? You don't want to use it yet? Okay, that makes sense. Well, I have to do this here. They're gonna get the basic swamp here. I guess we'll see if they have Fatal Push. They do. Alright. I can't force it here, but... What do I want? I guess I want like a Mindspring or a Tide Shaper would probably be my best draw. Interesting, okay. Now this opens up Flare, so I can get this out here. So what are you doing with this? Nothing, okay. That's what I thought. You didn't have a land last turn, so what's in your hand? Just a bunch of 3-drops? It's gotta be, right? That's the only thing I can imagine. That's pretty good, too. Let's say attack first, just in case I need to throw away Mindspring. I know they don't have removal anymore, so... Oh, well, no, they could still have Fatal Push here. Okay. And I can flare to protect this if I really need to. Oh, no, I cannot. Okay, that's pretty good. Alright. I mean, just playing a Lord next turn is also still fine. Engineered explosives for 1, I cannot allow that to resolve. Alright, Deck, what are you telling me? What's our plan in life? That's a pretty good one. Let's get this out. Alright, this gets our clock going. Again, if I have to, I can just flare the Mindspring away. She's not ideal, but it's better than nothing. Otherwise, I can just hold it up next turn. They really need another land. And they don't seem to have it, so that's great for us. That is also great for us. Okay. Murderous Cut. I have 3 cards left. I can just flare this right now. Like, if I flare this now, like, they go to 8, and then they could die next turn. Well, I can't quite kill them, but I can play this Hexcatcher. I can also play this Tide Shaper, which I can use to pay for the Hexcatcher. I think that's what I'm supposed to do here. Go to 3. Like, I think that's fine, right? They're still dead next turn. They don't know about Hexcatcher. Whatever they do, they're going to have to, like, tap out for it, and Hexcatcher will just punish. That's not going to do anything. Alright, we got there. Just barely scraping by against Mill. That didn't... I mean, I don't know. That didn't feel great. Like, I definitely felt like another matchup where I would have rather been playing mono blue. Alright, we're in the play. Alright, can we get at least one match where this shit is going to matter? We don't have anything to do on turn 1. Which is weird because we have so many turn 1 plays. I'm not keeping this and not doing anything in turn 1. Well, I guess we're just destined to keep basically this exact same hand, so... I guess we're just playing this Hedge Maze. We're up against Eldrazi. Neat. Alright. That's terrible for us. Alright. There's nothing that... yeah. Okay. We really need these Harbingers in play, like, immediately. So they don't know if I could have Flare here. Right? You have a Talisman. Well, that's great. Guess I'm gonna attack first, just in case they have Dismember. Or like, I don't know, they find blue-green. I have basic forest here. Oof. Yeah, I hate this card. How do you... Oh, fuck. Alright, well, I mean, yeah, the Talisman was just kind of rough. What are you gonna do? They have Tron, so... I think I'm supposed to just play Master plus Mindspring here. So this one, I don't know. They may not be playing Kozilek's Return in this one. Because that one usually plays red, right? I don't know what the blue-green one was. Alright, well they just gave up, so that's a good sign. Well, we definitely want Consign to Memory against this deck. What else? I mean, they could have a return, so we gotta be careful about this. I don't think this is a Svyelun matchup at all. I think this is very much a Harbinger of the Seas match. I don't think this is a Floodpits Drowner matchup really either. This is probably Force of Negation territory. They're gonna have Karn the Great Creator or Kozilek's return. I don't know how much return's gonna matter though. maybe Hexcatcher. We can't force on our own turn. I mean, this could also just be like a regular ass Urzatron. I'm gonna watch out for Kozilek's command too, so I don't know. I am not sure exactly. More flash things is probably not a bad idea. Yeah, I like Tidebinder. I think that's fine. Maybe we just do it like this. I don't know. Feel like we should have a good game against this because we can hit them pretty hard. I guess if our plan is to use the Harbinger really early, well, this is not a good hand at all. We have nothing to do with this mana. And these forces don't really inspire me with just one Master of the Pearl Trident. I'm gonna say, like, the Force of Negation might matter a little bit more with the amulet, or I mean the talisman, if we're planning to Harbinger them quickly. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. Guess I'm just gonna get rid of Misty Rainforest because we're gonna go Forest, Hierarch, Breeding Pool, Harbinger. Actually, maybe I'm supposed to get rid of the basic forest because we might not want like Sprawl or anything like that here. Uh, just in case something happens to Hierarch, we want to be able to cast the rest of these spells, so we can get rid of this. We go Breeding Pool, and then Island, and then Harbinger. That seems like that could be a little better. Alright, what do we got, opponent? Labyrinth with Devourer under it. Alright, well, they're off to the races already. Alright, the Sprawl makes me kind of want to get the basic forest here because... Oh, but they could... This is going to be so bad if they have, like, Kozilek's or command, right? Because it can exile either the Sprawl or the Hierarch. No, it can only do creatures. Okay, so... But if, yeah, the Sprawl should be safe, I think. They need 6 mana to exile my Utopia Sprawl land. It's not out of the question. That could happen. But I don't think it's going to happen right now. Alright, so yeah, that's worth noting. Command only exiles creatures. So the Sprawl is safer than the Hierarch here. I could get another Breeding Pool for this, I guess, but this is going to go away when I play Harbinger, so... I'm pretty sure it's more likely to stick around. Oh my god. This is not looking good. Okay, well... Get another Eldrazi Temple. Oh, fuck me. Yeah, they're going to use it, too. Alright, that was a pretty sick hand, opponent, not going to lie. Well, if I don't do this right now, I lose the game, so... Because if they just untap, like, with all this, I'm dead. Even so, like, I still am not in a good position here. They still have, like, 5 mana, and this Talisman is just fucking me, so... I can't block this, so... I can play Mindspring, Master, and Hierarch. Alright, I guess we just have to hope that they don't have anything here. Because they put their Devourer underneath this thing, so maybe they won't have it this turn. If I draw another Lord, what happens here? That's 5. And these are both 4. So it's only 13. Wouldn't actually kill them. So I guess my best draw is like a flare or something. Because I'm gonna it's gonna take I do have Mindspring I could use. Interesting. That's worth noting. Play Master, activate Mindspring, try to draw a card, and maybe it's a flare in an emergency. I could just try to draw like 3 cards with it. That's also possible. They chose Devourer of Destiny, so they're definitely going to do that next turn. They're going to go after my Harbinger for sure. No, I'm not going to block this. Blocking doesn't really help me right now. This also doesn't really do anything. All right, so now I gotta think about this. How'd I go about this? What are my outs here? Because Tidebinder can stop this from happening, and Consign can stop this from happening. I guess Sink into Stupor could also work. Problem is that this thing doesn't have Island Walk right now. I have to block at least one of them, so the Hierarch would need to block. We can attack him for 7 right now. Try to draw like an Island Walk Lord next turn. I guess. What? Yeah, like if I want to use Mindspring, I can draw like. Well, I have to tap the Hierarch to use Mindspring ability. That's pretty much it. So I guess what they're gonna cast Devour and get rid of Harbinger here. They're gonna tap out, so I get 2 draws to try to find Island Walk to kill them. I guess. Well, I could cast the Sprawl on this. That seems okay. Or I could just wait until their turn because then I can block with like this and then activate this and try to find what I need for the following turn. I think this is the what gives me my best odds right now. Yeah, so like I can't stop them from getting rid of Harbinger. They're gonna have to tap out every. Well, they get what, 1 thing back. They'll have, because they have the spawn tokens. They have 7 mana, so if they have like All Is Dust, then that's gonna suck. Like I lose to All Is Dust probably, unless I miraculously activate this and find Flare. Yeah. Interesting. What does this mean? Oh, there's like a bunch of lag here right now. Okay. Do I get to keep my Mindspring here? Alright, draw my card, I guess. Like, I can't imagine they have Dismember, right? That doesn't make any sense. What? Okay. You're still just losing to me having Island Walk again this turn. Not that I'm gonna have it, but, well, okay, so all of a sudden, like, we're almost kind of back in this. I can absorb this, like, I can, what, Tidebinder the trigger and Devourer of Destiny, and I have a Flare up still. Like, this puts me in still pretty good position. Like, you have to kind of block these, right? Hmm. Or if you just play Emrakul again, I have Tidebinder here. So you're going with Devourer on this. Um, I think I'm supposed to just Tidebinder and Flare this. Oh yeah, hold on. I guess the Mind Spring is the thing that's the least useful because I've already exhausted it, so I may as well get rid of that. And this can still block here, so yeah, like attacking isn't really good for them now. Alright. Malevolent Rumble. Well, that's not the greatest thing in the world for us, but find another. Well, it gives us another turn, basically. Alright. We have another turn to find Island Walk for victory. So what, I know what their two cards are now. Alright, well, I need something here, like we have. Well, that probably wasn't it, to be honest. Alright, well, so what? They need to, like, draw a land, pretty much? Well, no, they have another Devourer under this thing, so yeah, okay, no, it's over. That's it. I can't beat that. Ah, we were so close. We, like, almost had it there, but not quite. Alright. Run it back, try again. Will we get to be on the play this time? Well, we don't have any lands, so mulligan the shit out of this. Still don't have any lands. Thank you, Magic Online. I would love to just, like, completely concede this match. I still have, like, 19 lands in my deck. And... no, I can't keep that. Like... this is it. We're keeping this. We have to keep everything in our power to try and like we just have to draw the Harbinger, right? That's the only way that this is gonna work. If we don't draw the Harbinger, we die. That's where we're at. We have just the shuffler has decided this one for us, unfortunately. I feel like we have gotten incredibly, like, bad hands this league. This is, like, the third match now where it's just... we don't have a hand to just keep, and we're kind of, like, losing from the beginning because of it. What I can say is this is making me want to just play mono blue. Like, despite the fact that this can have incredibly good starts, like, it seems like it's very high variance, and I don't like that. I need the consistency back. Sure. That's not really going to help me here. Oh, no, not like this. Come on. We still have a chance to, like, make this league go well, but... this is just so bad. I don't even think this does anything. I guess I can counter one spell, but, like, it's not a good counter spell against this deck for the most part. The cast triggers are the problem. They just play Devourer of Destiny and we just die. Yeah, look, that's goodbye. Get these out of our deck, I guess. That's it. We're done. Oh, why? This is so terrible. Alright, one more. We can still try to, like, 2-3 this, I guess, but that was just miserable. How do we go from, like, two hands that don't have any lands in them to just, like, where we just end up drawing basically nothing but lands? Alright, no, we're not. Again, look, we have one creature. 7 or 6 lands and one creature into one land, and, like, these are so unkeepable. Come on, Magic Online, what are we doing? These are the worst. Can't keep this. I have to keep this, I guess. Get rid of Flare, and I need the sink, I guess, so let's get our Floodpits. It's gonna take so much damage for this. The benefit to adding green is that we can slam Harbinger of the Seas on turn 2, but not like with these kind of hands. Because we can either play Hierarch or Utopia Sprawl in turn 1, and then play a 3-drop in turn 2. See, Look, we have Svyelun's to play here. We have Tidebinders and Harbinger of the Seas. All these awesome 3-drops to combine with our Hierarchs and Sprawls, but, like, it's just... It's being very temperamental today. Like, we're getting very, very weird hands that, like, are outside the realm of, like, average draws, I would say. Like, you're not going to have it every time, but, like, I have more 1-drops in this deck than we typically do. Like, I have... What? Like... Oh, fuck. Oh, that's bad. We're up against Storm. Yeah, I guess we need this. Just gonna pass. We're gonna try to Tidebinder this thing. Because we have, what, 4 Hierarchs, 4 Utopia Sprawls, 4 Mindspring, and then 3 Tide Shapers. So many things to do in turn 1. And look, our Storm opponent just has it. They're literally comboing off in response to interaction on the draw. Like, this is the story of my day. Like, this doesn't even matter now, because they already have this, so... Okay. What's your... Like, if their last card is just a land, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to just flare this. I can't let them do this right now. Yeah, okay! They just have... He's telling me rude in the fucking chat here, and he has, like, the sickest possible hand on the draw to just, like, combo through every piece of interaction in the universe. Like, come on, opponent. Like, that is disrespectful as fuck. Alright. Look, Svyelun sucks here, and Harbinger of the Seas sucks here. Let's get rid of these guys. I think we need the Dismembers to get rid of these Rowls. Oh. Why? Why are we doing this to ourselves today? Alright. Get rid of 1 Sprawl, because we're less heavy on 3s now. I don't want to hear a fucking peep out of you. Like, you had the best possible hand anybody could have ever asked for in their entire lifetime. The last card is fucking Past in Flames. Like, your life is fucking amazing. Sure, start with Gemstone again. That's fair. I have to get the Breeding Pool, I think, because if I draw Island, I probably want to play that. I don't know. I think so. I don't know. I'm not even sure anymore. We don't have Harbingers in our deck, so it's not going to hurt us, but the life loss probably doesn't matter, because if they're storming off, they're just going to have it, so... Right. Floodpits is probably force food at this point. I feel like I'm supposed to force this right now. I don't think I can afford to let them just try to do nonsense here. Probably just have to use Mindspring to just draw a bunch of cards and hope that we don't die this turn. That's pretty much it. I have nothing else. I need to draw like some flares or some forces. Okay, that seems okay. I could draw Dismember, which might slow them down here. So it may be to my benefit to leave one of these up. I'm definitely doing this. I think drawing 3 is correct, because if I draw a Dismember, I have to kill this thing right now. Well, I did not, sadly. Still, it's a 1-drop I can cast, so I may as well cast it. We have this one forest seems to have bought us a little time, but they have 5 cards. Like, it's likely we're just gonna die right here. We have nothing, and they probably know it. We need Ral to not flip. They revealed another desperate. Oh god. Yeah, this means they for sure have it, right? Unless their last couple cards are just rituals and they don't have any more draw spells, then maybe there's a chance. I don't think that that would be the case, because if they didn't have anything else, they would not be casting this ritual here. Wish. Okay, that's it. I'm dead. Okay, well, there we go. This league was a complete disaster. I gotta be honest. I don't think the deck is as bad as this league represented. Like, we had things go incredibly wrong for us. Just like so many awkward hands where we just only have like 1 or 0 lands, or like, yeah, nothing to do on turn 1, despite having like all of these 1-drops to play. This is not a deck that can afford to skip the first turn, because if you're skipping turn 1, you're effectively skipping the second turn too. Like, playing a Lord in turn 2 is not enough in this format. Like, you have to have something to do on turn 1. Like, this, yeah, it's just too important. So, yeah, I am, and this deck is specifically designed around doing things in the first turn. So, if we don't have something to do on turn 1, then it's gonna fall apart. And yeah, there was too many hands where we had either like nothing to do on turn 1, or like not enough lands in order to keep the hand. And then in some of the other games, we just could not find like the interaction when we needed it, or the opponents in several cases here had just like incredible hands that we were just never going to defeat. So I don't know. That's rough. It's especially because like the control deck and like the storm deck are definitely decks where we should be beating them, and I feel like the blue deck, the mono blue list probably has a little bit of a better chance against them. Because the mono blue is probably going to main deck more of these forces in here. We're not going to be like mono blue is probably not playing like all these Svyelun's in this main deck. They'll probably bring in forces instead. They'll be a little bit slower. So they won't have like this stuff in here. You'll have more interaction like dismembers, which would help by killing off the Rals there, or ether vials to help play around the counter spells from our other opponents. So there's more tools to like try to beat some of those decks, and against the Eldrazi deck, like they just had like that crushing hand against us, and we had a close game against them where we had a few turns we could have like potentially drawn something, and we just couldn't find it when we needed it. Like we were close, but it wasn't quite enough. Like yeah, even like trying to get Harbinger in turn 2 was just not like, yeah, we couldn't bring it together and a second time to like try to really hurt them. So all right, I mean, yeah, we couldn't do it in like what, game 2 or 3. We needed it badly and just couldn't. So that really sucks. Like I said, I think that there is some potential to this, but the variance in this is just fucking absurd. And there was at least one turn, I think, where we got stuck with this Hedge Mage and just like couldn't do anything else because of it. So I don't like this card. I really hate this. I think we had one time where the basic forest was like really bad for us, but it's taking the slot of a Mutavault, really, which would have been bad anyway. I really should be playing Legacy, and actually maybe next week I will play Legacy because I'm supposed to be playing a 1K, not this Saturday, but the Saturday afterwards, so there's a good chance that next week's league will be Legacy because I need to get some practice in with that, so yeah, you can look forward to that. We'll find out what day that's going to happen, but I feel like, yeah, if I was gonna play the next list I would want to try is probably the mono blue list. Like, yeah, because like I said, I don't think that it's pointless to keep trying to do something with this, but I don't particularly feel like being the one to do it right now, and I think that my pursuits in Modern, if I were going to do that, would probably be better suited towards mono blue. Just yeah, I don't know. I feel like the mono blue would have addressed a lot of the problems we faced better. So, but that's just how it is. Like I said, next week I'm probably going to play Legacy for a league and get in some practice because, like I said, I'm supposed to be playing an actual paper 1K. So that is on for me. That is in my area on the 15th. So we'll see how that goes. I have my Mind Springs all right here. Or my which I think that the Legacy list does want this card, right? I have my nice set of the pre-release ones. Yeah, like I said, I think there is some number of these going into the Legacy deck. I don't know exactly how many yet, but for sure that some of them. I think that it's probably going to be a good number of them. Like it's the card is very good. I do think that we activated this and it gave us a chance. Like there was 3 cards we drew. Like all we needed like a force, a flare, or a dismember. Like any of those would have actually been good enough to keep us in the game probably. But no, not we didn't quite get there. The other thing to also consider though, and this will be probably the last thing I mention here, because we're playing Simic here, we have to have a very specific mana base to play with this card, which means you can't play with more Cavern of Souls here. And we have to take more damage from our lands, which makes it a lot harder to play stuff like Dismember and Breeding Pool together. It's bad. And Sink into Stupor, yeah. Paying so much life for this. But we also can't play like more than 2 of these because we need to keep up the forest count high enough for the Sprawl. So Mono Blue gets the advantage of having more Sink into Stupors and less pain from their mana base. So can afford more of these and more Dismembers without like really getting screwed by it too much. And like even this just as a regular card, like actually is very powerful because like against a lot of these decks, like if you just like Sink into Stupor a 1 spell on like the last turn, a lot of times that's enough to just win the game. So I mean, it ends up being kind of like an extra force or flare when you really need it to close out the game. And yeah, the fact that the mono blue deck gets to play with more copies of this in there, I think is another advantage that it kind of has over this list. So just something to think about if you're looking at the differences between trying to like play Simic or mono blue. You could play Hierarch and Vile. I don't know. Like, I don't know if Hierarch and Vile is the way to go. Like, those two cards are generally at odds with each other. The Vile tends to be a much slower card. It has different advantages. The thing is, these will accelerate you into your cards faster, but they also feed Mindspring a lot better. The Vile will help you play more of a control game. It's better against the counter spells, but also lets you play more of a controlling game because you can then like hold up mana, flash in a creature, and then Vile something in at the end of turn. So you can play around sweepers a little bit better with that. It's slower. It does different things, so it depends. Yeah, I don't know. It depends what you're looking to get out of it. And so maybe it's like this might not be necessary in order to maximize this card. Like this might just be fine, just incidentally using its ability rather than trying to like maximize on it. So those are my thoughts on this. Like I said, I don't think that this list or yeah the league doesn't really reflect I think how good the list is. I'm pretty sure that we probably could have done better with like more kind of average draws, but yeah, that's just how it goes this time. So, and I don't know that I'm going to be exploring this anymore, so we'll see. But like I said, next week Legacy, and then maybe the week after that will be we'll have 2 more weeks after that before the banned and restricted announcement. So we'll see how things shape up before then. I think that there's still a very high chance that like something else is going to get banned. Like the energy deck is still really good. Like Breach is obviously really dumb, and I mean Ketramos is still really really dumb too. So who knows at this point? I wouldn't hold my breath on a whole lot. I would imagine that probably just Breach is going to eat it, even though I think it should be Mox Opal, but or in a perfect world both because Breach is a Breach is too powerful for Legacy, and like it's only going to get better in Modern over time. And I think that the same thing is Opal was banned before for a reason, and that reason hasn't really changed. A lot of people will say that Mox Opal is fine for enabling just random artifact decks, and they're like, look, it's only one deck that's using it. Well, the problem is that usually there is a best artifact deck that uses Mox Opal, and like most people with Opals are going to play that deck. That doesn't mean the other decks aren't also broken. It just means that they're not quite as broken as this one. So you ban Breach and leave in Opal, I guarantee like the next Mox Opal deck is going to come up and need to be banned. It's how it happened the first time. That's why it got banned before, because you had all these decks like Second Sunrise, and then like Croc Clan Ironworks, and like even like the Oko or what is it, like the Modern Horizons like Affinity deck. I don't remember exactly how. Or like Lantern Control, like you're just really dumb with it. It's like there's always going to be a ridiculously stupid like artifact deck that like plays Mox Opal, and it's just it's not gonna last forever. Like I don't think that Wizards is gonna like admit their mistake in unbanning it just yet, even though I think they should, but it's too soon. They haven't reprinted it yet. They need to make their money off of their reprint, and then after like a while, then they'll ban it again. So enjoy it while it lasts, I guess. So alright, that's all we've got for today, everybody. Thank you for being here with me. I will see you again next time. Take it easy, everybody.